A lot of people are giving Bill Nye a hard time because of his debate with Ken Ham of AnswersinGenesis at the Creation Museum next to the mega-million-dollar Noah's Ark theme park. We all know that Ham's enterprises are losing money and that he needs a publicity stunt. He refused to debate me because he knows I would ruin him. But debating Bill Nye lends him credibility no matter what happens. Whoever wins or loses in public debates is decided by audience response, and Ham has the home field advantage. As long as he has control of censorship and editing, it doesn't matter how well the science guy does against him. The faithful flock will still cheer and jeer on cue and chant Ham's praises afterward. This isn't a forum for a scientist. This is the venue of a strategist. If I believed in the supernatural, I would want Bill Nye to channel Christopher Hitchens. Because it doesn't matter what he knows about science. Ken Ham has repeatedly admitted that he knows what's in the fossil record. He knows what the reality is. But reality is not his playing field. Though he never phrased it this way, Ham has many times implied that whether we believe matters more than whether it is true.
The message of Jesus comes from this book, does it not? And if people's minds today, in young people's minds today, if that book has been undermined, if they have been caused to doubt that it's really trustworthy, then why will they listen when you talk about the message of Jesus from the same book? The issue before us is one of authority. Is this or is this not the absolute authority of the Word of God?
So he argues that there's no evidence that humans descend from apes. The most compelling evidence is the fact that we're still apes right now, so of course he denies that too, and it doesn't matter how easily we can prove that he's wrong. It's not like you could teach him and he'd change his mind. This was never intended to be an honest discussion. This will be a show, a game of misrepresentation and misdefinition and doublespeak where Nye's own credibility will be used against him. Bill Nye knows as well as anyone that science isn't decided by how someone can charm an audience. It's determined by analysis of the facts, where each man's claims are tested against the evidence and peer review. But creationists have no evidence, no testable hypotheses, no explanative power, and no theory either. Scientific methodology is a field where creationists can't muster a team and can't even find the ball. That's what the people need to be made aware of. Creationists don't use science because they can't. Instead, they conjure lawyers, politicians, and showmen to create the illusion of equality. Creationists commonly say that evolution is religion, that science relies on faith just like religion does, that science is biased just like religion is, that there's no evidence for evolution, Big Bang, apologetics, etc., that there is evidence for creation, the flood, God, etc., that religion is reasonable just like science is, that religion can be confirmed empirically and experimentally just like science, and that creationism is somehow scientific. These are the lies of equivocation, meant to create the illusion that creationism is somehow comparable to the global scientific consensus on evolution. By debating the science guy, the anti-science apologists will have achieved that illusion. So why would Nye consent to do this? Because 46% of this nation actually believes that humans were created by magic rather than natural processes which can be measured and tested by numerous means, and something has to be done.
A Gallup poll actually says that 46% of Americans believe in creationism, that God created man in the past 10,000 years or so. And it's actually more than 135 million people. Why do you suppose that that belief persists?
It's troubling. I guess because, guys, people like me have not done our job.
I can respect that. I know how he feels. And every creationist, homeschooler, website, or ministry in this country is connected to AnswersinGenesis or cites them as their source. So when it comes to religious dogmatism undermining science education, Ken Ham is the kingpin of misinformation, so he's the one that has to be taken down in public forum. I will be there myself to record this debate on behalf of the Dogma Debate podcast on iHeartRadio. I think it'll be historic. This could be like Clarence Darrow versus William Jennings Bryan, or it might be like a trial where the prosecutor is Perry Mason and the defense counsel is P.T. Barnum. I don't think it'll turn out that well, because I think the science guy will expect his opponent and his audience to consider his arguments rationally. But this isn't about scientific truth. This is about confirmation bias and make-believe, and I don't know that Bill Nye has any experience dealing with the mind-numbing madness and bewildering inanity of faithful wanna-believers. Good luck, Bill.